Hello, my dear travel companions. Today I'm taking you on a long-awaited adventure to Da Nang, a city I've been dreaming of exploring. So pack your bags and get ready to dive into this charming city with me for 4 unforgettable days. I landed at Da Nang Airport at 6 a.m, a brutal hour for a foodie like me. My stomach was already rumbling from the moment the plane touched down, so my first order of business was to grab a taxi to the hotel, check in and drop off my luggage as fast as possible. After settling in, I decided to become a local Da Nang boy from the USA by renting the ultimate mode of transportation, a scooter. I snagged a cool bike for an incredibly student-friendly price of just 100 Vietnam dong per day, about $4. What a steal! If you're looking to rent a bike in Da Nang, you can check out rental shops near your hotel or contact a reputable service to have one delivered. Just remember to inspect the bike, make sure all the documents are in order, and always wear a helmet. My stomach was protesting again. I couldn't take it anymore. The first dish on my Da Nang foodie scavenger hunt list had to be Quang. Following a local's tip, I found a hidden gem of a restaurant tucked away in a small alley on Tran Hung Dao Street. The place didn't have a flashy sign, but the aroma alone was enough to draw me in. Price: a huge bowl of Quang was only 65,000 Vietnamese dong, about $2.5, with the option to add extra egg or meat. It was an absolute bargain for such a high-quality breakfast. Flavour: the noodles were perfectly chewy, the broth was rich and savoury with a hint of fried shallots, and it came with chicken, shrimp and quail eggs. The best part was the crispy, grilled sesame rice cracker served on the side. It was simply the peak of the peak. Pro tip: this place opens early and sells out fast, so get there early to make sure you don't miss out. Address: Tran Hung Dao Street and Hai Tay Ward, Sun Tra District, Da Nang. With my energy refueled, I continued my journey to explore some of Da Nang's famous landmarks. First up was Lin Ung Pagoda on Son Tra Peninsula. Here, you can admire the tallest statue of the Goddess of Mercy in Vietnam, and from this vantage point you can take in a panoramic view of the entire city. The atmosphere is incredibly peaceful and open. I recommend going in the morning to avoid the heat and the crowds. After all the morning walking, my stomach was grumbling again by lunchtime. I stopped at a roadside Bun Bo stall on Dong Da Street to enjoy a bowl of this national treasure. The bowl was packed with pork sausage, beef and tendons, served with fresh herbs, lime and chili. The broth was rich and fragrant with lemongrass, and it felt so comforting. A bowl cost between 35,000 to 50,000 Vietnamese dong, about $1.5 to $2. In the afternoon, I decided to soak in the coastal vibes and headed straight for Mai Kay Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches on the planet. I went for a swim, relaxed on the white sand, and watched the sunset over the water. It was a truly chill moment. For dinner, I decided to double down on 2 classic Da Nang dishes, Bun Mam Nem and Ban Trang Quang Thit Heo, rice paper rolls with pork. I found a Bun Mam Nem spot on Le Duan Street and a Ban Trang Quang Thit Heo place on Tran Bin Trong Street. Bun Mam Nem. The fermented fish paste sauce was rich and flavorful, mixed with pork sausage, pork and sour fermented pork, served with sweet and sour papaya, fresh herbs and peanuts. It cost about 35,000 to 50,000 Vietnamese dong per bowl, about $1.5 to $2. Ban Trang Quang Thit Heo, slices of boiled pork wrapped in rice paper, served with fresh herbs, cucumber, green banana, and that classic fermented fish paste sauce. A serving costs about 60,000 to 80,000 Vietnamese dong, about $2.3 to $3. After a massive meal, I took a stroll through the Helio Night Market and the Le Duan Night Market. Here you can find tons of street food, buy souvenirs, and soak in the vibrant nightlife. To top it all off, I went to the Dragon Bridge to witness the spectacular water and fire show. This is an absolute must-see when in Da Nang. The show happens at 9 p.m. on weekends, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so make sure to plan accordingly. At 7 a.m, my crew and I were on our scooters, heading straight for Ba Na Hills. The road was a bit winding, but our excitement couldn't be dampened. Heads up, the road to Ba Na is quite steep, so if you're riding a scooter, be careful and make sure you're a confident driver. We arrived at 8 a.m, bought our tickets and lined up for the cable car. This is the moment to make sure your phone and camera batteries are fully charged because the view from the cable car is breathtaking. Ba Na Hills ticket prices. Adult. Cable car ticket. 900,000 Vietnamese dong per person. Children's cable car ticket. 750,000 Vietnamese dong per person. Pro tip: buy your tickets online to save time waiting in line. By 8:30 a.m, we were at the top of Ba Na. Our first stop was the Golden Bridge, the famous Insta-worthy landmark. Walking on the bridge with clouds drifting below felt like being in heaven. After getting our fill of photos, we continued to explore other spots like the Le Jardin d'Amour flower garden and the ancient French village. It truly felt like a little piece of Europe was dropped right into the heart of Da Nang. Small tip, wear athletic shoes to make it easier to get around, as the attractions of Barna Hills are quite spread out. After a hearty lunch at a restaurant, we decided to hit up Fantasy Park, Vietnam's largest indoor amusement park. There were all kinds of rides, from gentle ones to thrilling ones like the Love Carousel, the Freefall Tower, 4D movies and virtual reality games. We played until our legs were wobbly and decided to call it a day. At 6 p.m, after our break, we headed out for dinner. This time I chose a seafood restaurant on Vone Nguyen Gap Street to enjoy fresh, bouncing seafood that had just been caught. From shrimp, crab and snails to oysters, every dish was amazing. Seafood prices. The price depends on the type and season, but overall it's not too expensive. Tip, it's a good idea to ask for prices before you order to avoid any surprises. And just like that, our second day in Da Nang ended perfectly. What do you think of the itinerary? Where should I go? And what should I eat tomorrow? Don't forget to let me know in the comments. At 7:30 a.m, I checked out of my hotel in Da Nang. I was a little sad to leave because Da Nang had so many delicious things to eat, but it's okay because on the other side of the river, Hoi An was waiting for me. Getting there, we travelled by scooter. The ride from Da Nang to Hoi An is pretty easy and only takes about 30 to 45 minutes. You can also take a bus or taxi if you're with a group. Heads up, once you get to Hoi An, you can find a place to park near the old town. The parking fee is about 10,000 Vietnamese dong per bike, about $0.5. At 9 a.m, I arrived in the old town. The first thing to do was buy an entrance ticket, which cost 120,000 Vietnamese dong per person. This ticket allows you to visit 5 out of 21 attractions, including assembly halls, ancient houses, and historical sites. Small tip: go in the morning to avoid the heat, and the air will be fresher. Make sure you wear comfortable athletic shoes to explore all the nooks and crannies of the old town. At noon, my stomach was calling again. Even though I'd walked a lot, I was determined to try all of Hoi An's specialties. For lunch, I chose a 3-dish combo: khao lao, mi quang, and komga chicken rice. Dash dash chow lao. The noodles are chewy, the broth is flavorful, and it's served with char siu pork, crispy pork skin, and fresh herbs. A bowl costs about 30,000 to 40,000 Vietnamese dong, about $2. Komga, shredded chicken mixed with onions and Vietnamese coriander, served with fragrant rice cooked in chicken broth. A serving costs about 30,000 to 50,000 Vietnamese dong, about $2. There are many delicious restaurants in the old town. You can ask locals or search on Google Maps. At 2 p.m, after lunch, we checked into our hotel in Hoi An. The room was cute, spacious, and had a great view. We took a short break to recharge for the romantic evening ahead. At 4 p.m, the old town started to light up with colourful lanterns. I walked around, took photos and bought a few souvenirs. Hoi An at night is incredibly romantic. At 6 p.m, we had dinner at a restaurant by the Huai River. Sitting by the river and watching the flower lanterns drift by was an unforgettable experience. After dinner, we bought a lantern and released it into the river, wishing for good things to come. A lantern costs about 10,000 to 20,000 Vietnamese dong, about $1. At 8 p.m, I went to the stage in the old town to watch a water puppet show and a Bai Choi performance. This is a unique cultural experience in Hoi An that you should try at least once. Oh wow, it's me again, the Eat Where I Go and the Place Gets Demolished vlogger. Our 4-day, 3-night Eat and Destroy Da Nang trip has come to an end. It's a little sad, but we'll still have one more perfect and meaningful day before we say goodbye to this beautiful city. At 7:30 a.m, I woke up early to enjoy my last breakfast at the resort. The buffet had a lot of delicious and nutritious options. After eating, I walked around the resort, breathed in the fresh air, and took a few souvenir photos before leaving. At 9 a.m, we checked out and headed back to Da Nang. The ride isn't too long, only about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on your transportation. At noon, back in Da Nang, I decided to have one last farewell lunch. This time I chose Banh Xeo, sizzling pancakes, and Nem Lui, lemongrass skewers, two famous central Vietnamese dishes I hadn't gotten to try yet. Banh Xeo, the pancake was crispy and golden, with a generous filling of shrimp and pork, served with fresh herbs, rice paper, and a special dipping sauce. It cost about 20,000 to 30,000 Vietnamese dong per pancake, about $1. Nem Lui, pork skewers grilled over hot coals, fragrant and delicious, served with fresh herbs, vermicelli noodles, and a dipping sauce. It costs about 10,000 to 15,000 Vietnamese dong per skewer, about $1. You can visit a few restaurants on Hoang Dieu or Nguyen Van Linh streets. There are many delicious and affordable places there. At 1:30 p.m, after lunch, I went to Han Market to buy gifts for my family and friends. The market has many specialties like fermented fish paste, beef sausage, sesame crackers, dried seafood, and cute little souvenirs. Small tip, walk around and check prices at different stalls before you buy to avoid getting ripped off. Heads up, most stalls offer careful packaging services so you can easily take your items on the plane. At 3:30 p.m, after a satisfying shopping trip, I headed to the airport. Even though the trip was over, the beautiful memories of Da Nang will stay with me forever. At 5 p.m, the plane took off, ending an unforgettable 4-day, 3-night trip to Da Nang. Although it was only a short 4 days, Da Nang left a deep impression on me. The friendly people, the delicious food, and the stunning scenery. I will definitely be back one day soon. My eat and destroy Da Nang journey ends here. Do you think this trip is worth taking? Don't forget to share your experiences in Da Nang with me. It really helps the channel out if you could take a second to like this video and subscribe. Thanks so much.